So we're going to start seated today. Place your hands on your knees or your thighs. Close your eyes. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Taking a slow, conscious breath in through the nose, and just be aware of energy as it flows right up the spine, causing you to just rise up through the crown of your head towards the heavens. And as you exhale and the breath flows out slowly, warmed by the lungs through the nose, feel both of your sitting bones ground, your tailbone sinking down. Sitting up, just bring your left hand and place it on the side of your face. Walk your right hand away and just find a nice stretch into the right side of your neck, upper traps. Breathe slowly and steadily. And then float your right arm as you inhale away from the earth, parallel to the floor. And then externally rotate the arm and turn your palm to face the ceiling. And then internally rotate the arm and turn your palm to face the sky. And just continue like that whilst gently teasing that stretch out of the right side of your neck and upper traps, just manipulating the arm into the shoulder girdle, stabilizing the joint, breathing steadily. And then from there, just release your hands and bring yourself back to upright. Same thing, second side, as you just pop your hand onto the side of your face. Begin to slowly incline the head and just find that sweet spot, find that sweet spot where you can get this stretch into the left side of your neck, upper trapezius again. And once you've discovered that, just begin to float your left arm parallel to the mat, deep breath in. Externally rotate the arm and turn your palm to the heavens again. Internal rotations, just really feel your way into this left shoulder. Inhale, exhale, inhaling and exhale. One more the same, inhaling again and exhale. Releasing both hands and sitting fully upright, take a moment or two to pause and then raise your arms, inhaling, bringing your hands to prayer. Keep your shoulders melting away from your ears. As you exhale, draw your fingertips between your shoulder blades and stretch out your triceps. Inhale, exhaling, and inhale, exhale, and inhale. Another one of these, exhaling, and inhale, exhaling, and inhale. I lied. Bring your fingers into a little hook, and making that little hook, draw your right elbow down by your right ribs, left elbow towards the sky. So the forearm of your left arm is slightly behind the back of your head, but try not to collapse the head forward. Keep the head leaning back, the spine nice and long. Pulling on that left hand with your right. And then inhale, raise the arms, still mobilizing those shoulders, stretching out the right side now. Pulling the right hand with the left. And then let's try that again. Inhale to raise the arms, exhale to pull. Not so much that you're going to yank the arm out of the shoulder. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale and exhale as you take your hands first, cruise behind your back, interlace your fingers there and send your knuckles to the floor beneath your tail. Now I'm going to change position so you can just slowly lift your arms away from your back, maybe bringing them level or parallel with the mat, level with your shoulders, the back of your heart, but not forcing that to happen. Exhale, take a little twist now to your right, keeping the arms lifted. Keep the neck nice and long. Try not to collapse the chin to the chest. Back to the center, deep breath in. Exhale, twist left. back to the center, deep breath in, and as you exhale, cave the belly, let the knuckles potentially rise, flex the feet to protect the ankles and knees, fold into your humble cross-legged forward bend, continuing to unlock your shoulders there. As you gaze forwards towards the front of your mat, try to keep both sitting bones solidly weighted to the floor. Soften the elbows and slightly bow the arms. Imagine pulling your fingers apart from their interlace. And now helping heavenly hands pulling you up as you inhale. Rise up again, just come back to face you, and then bring your fist to the right of your waist. Now really cinch the fist into the right of your waist and press your palms together. Try to squeeze your elbow points together, your shoulder blades, and just lean your head back over your right shoulder girdle and see if you can experience now that stretch into the left side of your neck and upper traps a little bit more as you lean into the fists and lean over to the right side. Just keep breathing into those little knots of tension, those nooks and crannies that feel a bit tight. And then reposition your fists to the left of your waist, squish your palms together, really cinch it in, and then just lean your head over your left shoulder. Try to squeeze the elbows together, pucker together the shoulder blades. Lean out over to the left as far as you can, whilst letting the shoulders just slope away from your ears. Come back to the midline. Take a moment or two to release your hands behind you. Can the legs and take the opportunity to have the opposite shin in front. Walk your feet a little bit wider apart, maybe sneak the flesh out from underneath your sitting bones. Sit fully upright and float the arms now, both of them parallel to the floor. As you exhale, bring your hands directly out in front of your heart to prayer. And then as you inhale, take your right arm back and just stretch out across your collarbones and shoulder blades. Another twist. Exhale, just bring your palms together. Inhale. Glance down the length of your left arm to the thumb. Exhaling. And inhale, really big stretch across the collarbones and shoulder blades. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Raise your hands upwards above your crown. Cross your wrists and clamp your palms back together into prayer. Now, shrug the shoulders down and the outer armpits back. Lean your entire torso now over towards the right and ground your left seat. Try to keep the arms out of your peripheral sight line as you peer up towards the top left-hand corner of the room or the space that you're in. Gazing upwards, in my case, into the fig tree. Back to the center, deep breath in, and then exhale, lean over to the left this time. Still clamping the ears with your upper arm, still drawing your right sitting bone into the ground, breathing via the armpit to the right hip. Back to the center, change the cross of your wrists and reclamp your palms to prayer. And take a deep breath in and imagine drawing yourself up a little bit taller in height. Clamping your palms together, keeping the wrists crossed if you can, and then slowly exhale, cave your belly, dome your back, and imagine you're going to take a dive into a swimming pool. Breathe into the back of your heart. Scoop up your navel towards your kidneys. Try to ease into the back body. Long, deep breaths. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, trail your fingertips back behind your tail. Change the way you're threading your fingers so it feels a bit strange this way when you bind the fingers behind your tailbone. And inhale, lift your gaze through heart and eyes. Smile enigmatically upwards towards the heavens. Let your knuckles rise again. Feet in flexion, another forward bend. Exhale as you fold towards the front of your mat, gazing down the bridge of your nose. As the knuckles rise again, try to soften the elbows, bow the arms, and imagine pulling your fingers apart from their bind. Those helping heavenly hands never far away, pulling you back up again as you inhale. And as you release your fingers from their bind and bring both knees side by side. Oops, I've just found myself a nice little dent in the crazy paving. This is going to happen all the time here. So shins, there's definitely some crazy paving work here to be done. Squeeze together your thighs, shins parallel to the floor, arms outstretched. Lift your heart, squeeze your knees together. A little bit of work for the core, everyone's favourite word. Inhale, lower your toes. Exhale, shins parallel to the floor or straight legs, you choose. Inhaling and exhale. If you're struggling, you can keep your hands under your thighs. Inhale and exhale halfway or raise the legs straight. Inhale, exhale. Keep going, inhaling. Exhale. You can change it up. Inhale, exhale. Inhaling and exhale. Find your boat, whether you've got your shins parallel to the floor, hands wrapped back of the thighs, legs are straight, whatever you need. Try to find that shape. Smile, breathe, lift your breastbone, lift your gaze, and then cross your ankles and take yourself directly over to kneeling on all fours. Now once you've got yourself kneeling on all fours, have your elbows underneath your shoulders rather than your hands. Interlace your fingers again and press your outer wrists into the ground. Look forwards beyond your knuckles and tuck under the toes. And then slowly from here, inhale and shift forwards, lowering your chin and the tip of your nose to the floor in front of your knuckles. Exhale, driving those elbows into the mat. Draw your head between your upper arms. Inhale, shift forwards, nice and slowly. Now working on strengthening the shoulders, upper body. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, shift forwards. Exhale, reach back. And if you feel that that's a little bit too little challenge, then you can always lift the knees and come forwards into a forearm plank as you breathe in, and a forearm dog as you breathe out. So you can ramp it up if you want a little bit more challenge. Or, like before, you can vary it. Lower your knees and forwards and back. But just try to build up repetitions with steadiness and ease, and make sure that you're not compromising your breath. You can take respite whenever you need. In child pose, remember that's always there if you need to take a break. So that's probably enough for now. Lower your knees if you lifted them. Bring your hands all the way down by your feet. And assume child pose with soft elbows, helping to travel those shoulder blades apart. Let the palms of your hands face the sky, and if possible, bring a little bit of weight bearing to bear on the forehead, on the third eye. Take some lovely deep breaths. Relax your shoulders, facial muscles, jaw. Feel the belly swell against the thighs. Try to balloon the breath into the back of your body. Fill all the way up from the tailbone to the nape of your neck. Empty from the nape of your neck all the way down to the tip of your tail. And then slowly just curl your way up from this kneeling position. And then just finding yourself coming all the way up to kneel. Raise your arms, inhaling, and just take a nice back bend, fanning out the fingers, spreading them wide, doming your palms to face the sky, letting the hips travel forwards as you stretch out your hip flexors and your thighs. Exhale, resume child pose, folding in on yourself like a little butterfly. Inhale again, spread your wings, open up the heart. Exhale, fold back in. Another one the same. Inhaling, opening up the heart space. And exhaling. As you inhale, all rise, and as you rise up and fan out your fingers, spread them wide. Heavily weighted tail, then bring your hands behind your back. Introduce that interlace to your fingers yet again. Send your knuckles to the floor and smile your collarbones towards the heavens. Keep the back of your neck long, shoulders sloping away from your ears. Engage your buttocks. Keep breathing into your body, long deep breaths. On the exhale this time, lower your seat. Let your knuckles rise. Once again, away from your tail. Rolling over your forehead hairline and onto your crown. Try to keep the neck absolutely in line, and then just let the crown of your head bear a little of the weight whilst you're lifting your knuckles directly to the sky. Breathe into that shape, softly gazing back between your knees. If that's too much for your neck, just back away. Exhale, iron the forehead. Drop your sit bones to your heels, your hands to your feet. Swim your hands up from behind you, come into extended child pose. Inhale, rise up to kneeling on all fours with wrists beneath shoulders and knees beneath your hips. Exhale, take a cat arch, caving the belly, doming the back. Inhale, take a dog tail, filling up to the brim. Exhale, coming into your cat arch. Inhale as you take that return journey to dog tail. Keeping the toes tucked under and the knees softly bent, begin to lift the knees off the floor. Once again, bringing weight bearing through the shoulders, through the upper body, through the wrists. Slowly begin to travel your head between your arms. And as your buttocks continue to rise, straighten the legs without locking the knees and slightly flick your outer heels towards the two outer edges, back corners of your mat, aiming as you do that to parallel the outer edges of your feet with the long edges of your mat. Look forwards, check in on those hands, make sure that your middle finger is pointing to 12 midnight, the other fingers are evenly distributed each side. Press into the pads of your fingers, the knuckles, the joints of your fingers and thumbs. Now encourage your toe pads to rise and lift your calf muscles, kneecaps and thighs, belly sucked up into the rib cage, heavy head still as you gaze back at the shadows created by your toes. Keeping the toes spread broadly, try to individually bring them back onto the mat. Keeping the toes spread broadly, come back to your down facing dog. Now work to strengthen a little bit more. Take your left hand to the outer right ankle, calf, whatever you can reach, and let your head be heavy. If this is too much, come to rest on all fours. Same thing as you exchange hands and just visit the other side. Both arms, framing your ears again, returning to down facing dog. Heavy head, softening the elbows. Try to externally rotate the upper arms whilst your kneecaps, calf muscles and thighs all continue to hug the bones and rise to the hips. Now walk your hands back towards your feet, so you're winding up in ragdoll at the back of your mat with as generous a bend as you need in your knees. Really squeeze your navel into your kidneys, let your head be heavy, your arms hang loose like spaghetti. Heavy head, heavy arms, round the feet, spreading the weight evenly through the front and back of your feet, left and right, but particularly spreading into the pads of your toes, big toe mounds, little toe mounds. Very slowly, chin tucked into the cradle of your collarbones, navel drawn up to spine, slowly begin to stack your vertebrae very precisely, one bone at a time. Come all the way up to mountain pose with a heavily weighted tail, a neutral pelvis. Slot your shoulders over your hips. Turn your palms to face forwards. Then just return, roll your shoulders forwards, take your chin to your collarbone, soften your knees, cave your belly, and pour your torso like treacle down the front of your legs, hanging out once again in your standing forward bend. Feet plugged into the earth's bedrock, toes, pads of your feet. Pressing down, slowly begin to restack the spine once again, bone by bone, coming all the way up without being in a tearing hurry. Palms face forwards, crown lifts. Again, one more time, just roll down through the spine, just let everything just pour like oil down the front of your legs. Heavy head, heavy arms, strong legs. And one more time, slowly, with feet grounding, plugged into the earth's energy. Come all the way up with strong legs, strong core. Back to standing upright, shoulders slotting back over the hips, palms of your head facing forwards. Now pop your hands onto your hips and take your left foot forwards in a big stride. Keep your right foot with the heel turned in and then bend your left knee. So square the hips, bend your left knee, heavily weight the tail. Take your arms forwards and interlock 3 fingers and send your 4 fingertips, like the guy with the golden gun, pistol tip directly in front of your heart. Slowly, as you straighten that front leg, take a deep breath in. Whoops, I'm getting in touch with the washing line. Exhale, bend the knee and shift forwards. Inhaling. Frame the back of your ears. Interlace fingers and take your 4 fingers forwards towards me. Just find that mudra. It just helps to focus, really. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Now from here, stay with that front knee bent as you raise the arms. Take your hands out and all the way once again behind you, interlacing your fingers once more. Send your knuckles to the floor. That knee stays tracking the middle toes and over the left heel as you smile your collarbones and lips towards the sky. Continue to breathe slowly and steadily as you cinch your fists again into the left side of your waist. Squeeze together your elbows, triceps. Lean against your fist and incline your head over your left shoulder. Still ground evenly through both feet. Really leaning into the fist, pour your breath into your body effortlessly. Come back to the center. Release your hands back behind your tail. Straighten your front leg and look upwards again. Moving into pyramid pose, keeping your hips aligned. Exhale, cave your belly, lengthen the back of your head away from the back of your heart and send your knuckles past your tail. Gaze forwards and ahead. Check in on the alignment of your hips if you need to. You can change the positioning of your back foot so the angle allows you to bring your right hip forwards. Draw the left thigh bone back into the hip socket. And once you're satisfied that you've got that symmetry, slowly begin to fold into your pyramid pose whilst your knuckles float potentially upwards towards the sky. Keep grounding through the feet, but try not to claw. Grip with your toes. From pyramid pose, slowly lower your knuckles back to your tail and bring your hands back to shoulder width. So you're finding your hands, either if they won't reach the floor without you sort of collapsing and not managing to balance, bring your hands onto a couple of books or blocks. Fold a little bit deeper. Close your eyes perhaps. Focus on what's going on within. A nice deep stretch, but also an opportunity to quieten the chitter-chatter in your brain and to smooth any rough edges from your nervous systems. Very slowly from here, rebend the knee, lift the fingertips, raise them upwards towards the sky, come back into a triumphant warrior one. From there, just rainbow your hands down by your hips. Step confidently onto this left foot. So I'm just going to come back because I have to find a non-wobbly piece of ancient crazy paving. And then step confidently onto your left foot. I'm satisfied this one's not going to let me down. place your ankle onto the onto the front of your shin or the top of your thigh, and just keep your hips aligned. Bring your hands to prayer in front of the heart, and just grow your cypress tree, raising your fingertips upwards towards the sky. It's variation on a tree pose, with the foot in front of the shin or the ankle. Just keep working to gently open the hip. As you exhale, ooh, got all this tree here, bring your hands back down by your sides. Funny that. Now stepping yourself back to mountain pose, take a moment or two to just simply be there and fully arrive. Palms of your hands facing forwards. Maybe close your eyes. So from here, just step your right foot forwards, bend your knee. Use your hands to guide those hips into alignment. Heavily weight the tail. And as you breathe slowly and steadily and just find yourself coming into that shape, once again, raise the arms, steeple your fingertips above your crown. And then slowly from here, interlock 3 fingers and send your 4 fingertips upwards towards the sky. Slowly, as you exhale, bring your forearms forwards, parallel to the floor. As you inhale, bend that front knee, raise your arms. So really turning the legs, exhaling, and inhale as your hips move forwards evenly. Exhale, and inhale. Exhaling, and inhale. One more the same, exhaling again, and inhale. Now swim your hands behind your back and introduce that interlace to your fingers again. Cinch your fists to the right side of your waist this time. Really dig them in. Incline your head over your shoulders, squeeze together your elbow points, your shoulder blades, your triceps. Keep breathing into that shape, deeply bending that front knee, keeping your legs stable and your feet still grounding your weight evenly. Leaning your head back over the shoulder, feel that stretch once again into the left side of your neck, upper traps. You'll feel it in the hip flexor and the left thigh, the left ribs perhaps in the waist. And then slowly release, straightening your front leg and interlacing your fingers. Lift your gaze through heart and eyes. As you exhale, approach first of all your ironing board shape, belly snugly fastened to your spine. Look forwards and ahead and pause halfway in the ironing board shape just to correct any misalignment of your hips again. Keep looking forwards as you pursue pyramid pose. Maybe the knuckles start to rise, but keep looking straight down at the earth, forwards ahead of your toes through your heart and eyes. Release your knuckles to your tail. Bring your hands back to shoulder width, framing the front foot without locking that knee, just folding a little bit more deeply. If your fingertips need to be elevated, then pop them on a couple of chunky books again. Breathe into what's there. Long, deep breaths, helping you to be more centered, more introspective, more conscious and self-aware. Rebend the knee. Release your fingertips from the mat. Rise up to Warrior One triumphantly. From your Warrior One, bring your hands once again down by your hips. Stepping onto the left foot. I've got to go back a bit because there's that wobbly piece of paving slab. And then just stepping onto the front foot. Bring the ankle either to the shins, so it can just be a hip opener there, or bring the ankle to the top of the thigh, sort of half lotus almost. Bring your hands to prayer and grow your tree. And as you grow your tree, in an area here in Provence where there's a lot of trees, I've got too many trees in the way to actually reach my arms upwards to the sky, but just draw yourself up to your full height if you can. Draw your outer arms, upper armpits, back, really opening up the body, creating more space. Clearing those internal skies between your ears within your brain. And then slowly bring both hands down by your sides, both feet side by side, and return to the stillness of mountain pose again. Take a moment or two just to simply be there. This in-breath, take your hands into a big sweeping arch and bring your palms back to prayer. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold down into your forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift again, and exhale, fold back in a little bit deeper. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold in a little bit deeper. Now bring your feet to hip width and have your left hand positioned in front of your toes on a brick or on your fingertips. Take a twist, reaching upwards with your fingertips to the sky. Try to draw the crown of your head forwards. Exhale and replace hands. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, bring both hands back to the ground. Thread your fingers behind your back one last time. Lift your knuckles away from your tail, deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knees, lower your knuckles to your tail. Take chair pose, raising your arms, pulling your knees back over your heels, lifting and spreading your toes as you say hello to your thighs. Cave the belly, look forwards through your heart and eyes. You've got this. Bring your hands now to prayer. Lower the toes, bring your left elbow to the side of your right knee. And as you squeeze the inner thighs together and draw your gaze out and over your right shoulder, keep lengthening your breath, deepening your seat. Try not to let your left knee stray forwards. Keep it side by side with your right. If you want more, once again, take your left hand to the floor and your right hand towards the heavens. Still bending your knees, still squeezing them tight, bring your hands back to prayer. As you inhale, come back to chair pose. Once again, draw the seat back over towards the back of your mat. You've got a long tree monkey tail. And then right elbow, left knee, palms clamped together in prayer. Take a deep hit of breath. Fill your belly, fill your chest. And as you exhale, use your obliques, your twisting muscles to help you develop that twist. Keep bending the knees. If you went there before, take your right hand to the floor, your left hand to the sky. Stretch out across your collarbones and your shoulder blades. Breathe. And then bring palms back together, knees stay side by side. Inhale, come back into your forward facing chair just for one more breath before skyrocketing upwards towards the heavens. Swan diving, hinging at the hips down into the deep. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, take them wide and come into a little squat, little pixie. Poised on your toe pads and perching your sitting bones on your heels, keep your left hand so that it's positioned with your left arm on the inside seam of your left leg. And then raise your right arm and look back behind you, opening your hips while taking a little twist and opening the heart. Continue to breathe steadily into that shape. And then just release. Bring your right hand to the floor, arm against the inside seam of your leg, and take your left arm back, opening up across your collarbones, shoulder blades. Still balancing on your feet, strengthening your ankles, stretching out your toes. Back to the center, still perched like a little pixie. Walk your hands with a frog, walk your hands forwards. Humbly bow your head and gaze down towards the tip of your nose. Keep the knees drawn wider and wider apart as you melt your head and your heart towards the earth. Not trying to get anywhere. force or impose your will on your body, but breathing into your belly, into your hips, into your inner thighs, conscious, mindful, steady breaths. From here, prowl your hands back towards your feet. Come sitting fully upright, and then just see if you can lower yourself down without falling into a heap. Whoops, I've just gone on my crazy bathing again. And bring your feet loosely together into prayer. Draw your heels as close as you can to your groins and start to rock from sit bone to sit bone. So a little play. And then once you've had a little rock from sit bone to sit bone, come back and ground both of your sitting bones evenly and just lightly flutter your wings like a butterfly landing on a petal or a leaf. Some really beautiful butterflies around here. I can't believe the different species that there are. There's so many here with all these flowers out at this time of year. My favourite is this bright yellow one that looks like they're working on the road. It's that bright. It's like fluorescent yellow. And then just come to stillness. Pop your thumbs against the balls of your big toes. Soften into that shape as you cave your belly. Press your thumbs against your big toe mounds and your elbows gently pressing against your inner thighs. And as you draw your belly right up into your rib cage and bow your head towards your feet, try to slowly but surely prise those feet open, the little toe sides of your feet like the hinges of a book, and you're just gazing down at the soles of your feet as if you're kind of reading the newspaper or reading perhaps a favourite verse of poetry. But whatever it takes, just focusing softly on your feet as you once again declutter the brain. Open your hips and melt your head towards the earth. So take the pressure off of your big toe mounds as you release the thumbs. Keep your right knee bent and take your left leg out to the left side. With your two peace fingers, or grab hold of the belt, hook up your left foot or your big toe. Reach back with your right arm, another heart opener as you reach all the way back behind you and glance towards the root of your thumb. Exhale, bring your right hand in the direction, if not all the way to your left big toe. Inhale again, open up the window to the heart. Exhale, turn towards the foot. Inhaling and exhaling. This time as you inhale and reach back, looking down the length of your arm towards your thumb, soften your left elbow and either bring it to the shin, the calf, maybe even the ground. Keep both sitting bones grounded and pull the right fingertips up and overhead, framing the side of your face and bringing your right arm out of your peripheral sight line. If you can, reach your toes, that's great, but not if that involves suddenly collapsing into a heap and congesting the chest, compressing the body and denying yourself these long, deep breaths. But breathing into what's there, dropping in on gravity and winging the right elbow tip towards the sky. From here, transition your right hand behind your tail, turn the fingertips to the left of your mat and bring your left hand to the outside seam of your right thigh. Sit on the top of your sitting bone still. Breathe in, draw up really tall. Keep this left leg active, foot flexed, ground the left calf, heel and thigh. And embarking on this twist from the midriff again, slowly but surely climb your way up each vertebrae, one bone at a time. Eventually glancing over your shoulder and into the corners of both eyes, and then letting that be your cue to take a second twist, looking over your left shoulder and inclining the head to peer down in the direction of your left toes. Again, just listen to your body, listen to your breath echoing in the chamber of your throat, and focus on what's going on inside. Now bring your right arm and cross it over your left in an eagle bind, a little bit more traction as you draw the shoulder blades apart and draw your forearms out in front of your face. And then turn, steer your whole body towards your left leg. Suck the thigh bone of your left leg into the hip socket. And then raise your forearms up and overhead, taking a deep breath in. And then exhale as you cave the belly, lean forwards in space, and just let your arms come to whatever they find, while still gazing towards your toes, and still keeping the heart lifted and looking forwards as well. Find this variation of a forward bend, and breathe into what's there again. Subtly turning your torso, right torso, towards your inner left thigh, and subtly sucking the thigh bone into the hip socket. And imagine that long tree monkey tail sloping off behind you towards the wall behind. From here, rise up again, inhaling. Turn towards me, unravel your arms from the eagle bind. Finally, pop your right hand to the right and slightly behind your right hip. Point your left toes, just cueing your left leg that it's showtime. Pendulum your fingertips across the mat, and then reach up and overhead, thrusting your heart and hips, spreading your fingertips, really pushing away the earth with points of contact, those foundations, bringing extra strength, power, and a sense of grounding into this opening pose. As you exhale, lower your seat and lower your fingertips. Now switch up the legs, change sides. Pop your foot to the inner thigh. Draw yourself upright and tall. And then reach with your two peace fingers or your belt again for your right foot this time. Holding onto the foot, direct your gaze out towards your left arm. And stretch out across your collarbones and shoulder blades. And then exhale and turn towards your right foot, touching the toes with your fingertips. Inhaling. And exhale. Deep breath in. Good. And then exhale everything. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then finally, just reach back behind you. Just pull away from the foot again, before softening the elbow in the direction, if not onto the shin. Let your left arm come up and overhead, trying to keep that left arm out of your peripheral sight again. Wing the elbow tip to the ceiling. Try to turn not just your face, but also your heart and your navel towards the sky. Drop in on gravity. Breathe ever so slowly, effortlessly, into those little areas of your body, those little knots of tension, again, that feel not quite as open and spacious as perhaps you might like. So from here, just transition your left hand behind you and your right hand to the outer left thigh. Remember, you're looking forwards to begin that twist, so start to really draw up tall as you breathe in again. And then exhale, and imagine tightening that corset of flesh around your waist, and start that twist from the midriff up through the thoracic vertebrae. You're not in a hurry to turn your face. That happens later once you've climbed up the thoracic spine to the neck. And then slowly begin to turn your attention to the corners of your eyes and whatever's behind you. And once you're there, just keeping the navel and heart twisting to the left, let your face turn over to the right and incline your head over the shoulder girdle towards the shoulder blade. And just offer the weight of your head to gravity for a few more breaths. Just feel that stretch here in the left side of your neck, upper traps. Weight of your head heavy, shoulders melting away from both ears. Picking up the left hand from behind you and wrapping the left arm over your right, find your eagle bind. Try to consciously prise those shoulder blades apart. Lift your neck like a toadstool out of the shoulder girdle, whilst the crown of your head dome upwards towards the sky. And as your crown continues to dome upwards towards the sky, pivot and turn towards your right toes this time. Raise your forearms up and overhead with a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lean into space, lowering your forearms elbow down in the direction, if not all the way to your shin or to the ground. But try to square up those hips, slightly turn your left torso if you can towards your inner thigh and suck your right thigh bone into the hip socket. And keep the right foot flexed as you gaze at it softly. And as you breathe into that shape, just focus on what's going on deep within again. Nowhere to go, nothing to do or to be, just to simply show up and bear witness to your own body, your own breath. From your forward bend, keeping the sitting bones grounded, the right leg actively grounded and the foot flexed, face forwards once again. And as you rise and unbind your arms from eagle and plant your left hand slightly behind to the left of your hip, reach out to the right with your right fingertips. Go for a big old swing, pointed right toes, ground the foot, press away with the left hand into the mat and dome your right palm to the ceiling. Imagine you're going to flip, turn yourself right inside out as you really open up your heart, hips, bloat your belly, fill your body to the brim. When you're ready, exhale and float your sitting bones back down onto the ground. Bring both legs wide this time. If you need to, sit on your mat rolled up behind you to give yourself a little bit of lift, sit on a cushion, but try to be more on the front of your sitting bones, more towards the pubic bone than rolling back onto your coccyx. Extend your arms, inhale. And as you exhale, turn towards your right toes and just lightly dust the toe with your fingertips. Inhale, sit fully upright, opening the chest. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. As you raise the arms and reach up high with your fingertips to the sky, once again introduce that mudra, the man with the golden gun one, I don't know whether it's got a proper name. Interlace the fingers, 4 fingertips, rising upwards like a pistol above your crown again. Exhale as you lean over to the right, grounding your seat and breathing by the armpit to the left hip. Really activate the legs, the feet. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, turn into that side stretch into the right side, clamping your ears around your ears with your arms again, your ears around your ears, your arms around your ears. Filling your belly, filling your chest, inhale. And as you exhale, keep the arms now out of sight, so try not to let your arms drop down, but let your gaze remain fixed forwards and keep lifting your outer armpits, clamping your ears, strengthening the shoulders, the upper back, flexing out through the feet. Feel that stretch where it feels intense, so breath there with your brain. Now you might not feel as if you're getting as far as if you had your hands down on the ground, but you are. Really work to lengthen between your crown and tail. And then inhale, and with your hands doing that mudra, raise your arms up again. Exhale, and angel wing your hands back down by your sides. Now step both feet together side by side, so seated staff pose. Just draw the flesh back out if it's snuck underneath the sit bones. Draw those sit bones back a bit. And once again, raise your arms. And this time, create Spirit Eagle Mudra, hooking your thumbs together, drawing the outer armpits back and shrugging the shoulders down away from your ears. Take another deep breath in. And again, the same technique as you were using before, of not letting your arms kind of flop down to grab your feet, but to keep them high, clamping the backs of your ears. As you exhale, let your butterfly just hover, or it's an eagle, your eagle hover over the toes. Keep squeezing out the breath each time you exhale in this pose. Empty all the way to the bottom. And then inhale and let your eagle or your butterfly, whatever you like, take flight, both here in the mountains. Exhale, fold forwards. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forwards, looking beyond the toes. And finally inhale, rise up, exhale, and eagle wing your hands back down by your sides. So once you've got yourself there, back in your seated staff pose, all that remains to do is to squeeze the elbows together, place your hands behind you and offer your heart to the heavens. You could stay here with your sit bones grounded, or you can lift your seat, engage your glutes and come into an upward facing plank, looking forwards, or if it feels okay, letting your head drop back and be hammocked between the shoulder blades, really strengthening the upper body again, the arms. Lifting your hips. Try not to force your toes to the floor. Slowly lowering your seat. Come all the way back upright. Bending your knees, grabbing hold of your thighs and just checking you haven't got anything on your mat behind you and you've got plenty of mat to roll backwards onto your spine. Take a little rock and roll, massaging your spinal muscles, your shoulders, your hips, with your chin slightly tucked into the collarbones. And then from there, come all the way into a supine position, constructive resting pose, with heels beneath the knees and feet hip width. Re-arch your back and set your shoulders a little bit closer to your pelvis. Lift your pelvis and lengthen your tail between your heels. Bring your palms to the ground facing down and reach with your middle fingers towards your outer ankles. Feel the shoulders sloping further away from your ears as you breathe in, the back of your head moving away from the back of your heart. Your feet pressing forwards as if they're trying to make their way to the front of your mat. Take another deep breath in. Fill to the top. And as you exhale, concave the belly, tilt the pelvis, lift the tail, engage the glutes and rise up into your bridge pose. Inhale, take the arms overhead to frame your ears. And as you take the arms to the floor, lift your hips a little higher. On the exhale, slowly let your arms and your spine simultaneously come back down to rest on the mat. Take another deep breath in, bloat the belly, fill the chest to the brim. Exhale, scoop the belly to the spine, lift the tail, wheel your way up through the vertebrae. Come right up into that bridge. Inhale, take your arms back up and overhead. Frame your ears, knees tracking your middle toes. As you exhale, synchronize the movement of the arms with the movement of the spine as it reclines. One more time, take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lift the tail. Wind your way up onto your shoulders. Inhale, bloat the belly, fill the chest, frame your ears with both arms. Exhale, slowly lower your spine, lower your arms, only this time peel your head and shoulders off the floor, peering between the dome of your knees. Taking your time, take your right leg forwards, hold, and stretch out through the toes, aiming to line up your right thigh with your left. Stay peeling your shoulders off the floor as you bend your knee and ground your foot back to hip width. Same thing, second side, raising your left leg and looking forwards above the knee towards the toes. Bend the knee and bring the left foot back to join the right. If it feels okay, lift both legs, low boat, prise the shoulder blades apart. Try to let your fingertips reach forwards, roll your thigh muscles inwards and point your toes. And finally, bend the knees, recline your head and shoulders, mold your hands to a kneecap each, and with big toes side by side, just circle your thigh bones around your hips, massaging your back body as you do. Oiling the hips both directions before coming back to stillness and bringing your feet back together into prayer, only this time wrapping your hands around the little toe sides of your feet, winging the knees out wider and wider. With the help of your hands, drawing your heels closer to your inner groins. Take some deep breaths, steady breaths. From supine tailor's pose. When you're ready, manually close the hips, draw your knees together side by side, Outstretch your arms, palms facing down this time. Take a little shuffle of your hips to the left. Exhale and guide your knees stacked and squeeze tight to the right. You can fasten your right hand to the side of your left knee and hook the little finger side of your hand into the knee crease. Turn your face and turn your palm of your left arm to the sky. And coax forwards your left sitting bone, your left hip in this one. Float your belly, fill your chest as you breathe in. And exhale and squeeze out everything. Inhale again, try to draw that left sitting bone forwards. Exhale everything. Extend both arms, ground both palms and keep your knees squeezed tight. Lift your knees back over your heart. Take a little shimmy of your hips, quite ungainly that shuffle, and then take your knees over to the left. This time securing the top knee with the left palm, and then just bringing your gaze to the right arm as you turn the palm to the sky. And then just coax forwards again in your own strength, this right sitting bone, this right hip. You could just use your hand on it, of course, on the thigh, and just get that juicy little stretch here into the lower right back and waist. But wherever you are, just breathe into what's there. Long, deep breaths. Now flip the palms, raise the knees back over your heart. As you wrap your arms around your shins and take yourself into a little fetal ball, find winding pose. Shoulders relaxed, tailbone just still pressing down onto the mat if you can. And then slowly release. Step your feet to the floor. And then just settle. In that constructive resting pose, just let the shoulders, back of your head, shoulder girdle, back rib cage, shoulder blades settle. The length of your spine, heavy weighted pelvis, sit bones, buttocks. Take stock again, take a reading, ask yourself if there's anything else your body needs from you. Respond to whatever answers you receive. It might be that you need something to keep you from losing heat, or some supports under your knees, back of your head. It might be that you just want another little circle around, another little fidget before you come into your resting corpse pose. Whatever your body's asked for, once you've provided it though, just extend both legs out in front of you. Externally rotate the thigh bones into the hips and let the little toe sides of both feet drop out to the sides. Let your shoulders once again melt away from your ears. You can help that by lifting your shoulders momentarily off the mat and drawing them closer to your pelvis again. Lengthen your tailbone between your heels a little bit more. Maybe lift the buttocks from the floor and reground your lower back. With eyes closed, maybe rocking from side to side over the back of your head, releasing your neck, and imagining your brain sloshing around within your skull. But finally, just arriving in stillness with closed eyes, observing the breath as it enters your body, watching the breath as it leaves. Coming into yoga's most important and valuable asana, as you spend time just processing your practice, assimilating it into your mind, your muscle memory, letting all of your body's systems harmonize, synchronize, in perfect balance. Energy flow freely through every cell. And as you gaze at that screen in front of your closed eyes, and notice perhaps whatever abstract colours, lights, images or shapes come and go. Just stay here, fully present, fully alive, and relaxed. Slowly begin to reawaken your body. Take your time to gently rub your thumbs against the tips of your fingers. Wriggle your fingers and toes, circle your hands and your feet. Take a long, deep stretch between the extremities as you frame your ears with your arms and point your toes. As you exhale, take your arms for a spin to retrieve your legs, bend the knees. Roll over onto one side and pause there briefly in recovery. When you're ready, join me sitting quietly with crossed legs and closed eyes. Bring your hands to your heart, and for a few private prayerful moments, simply look into your heart and lift whoever it is or whatever situations you find are there to a love and light, a power perhaps far greater than our own. Offering you a now a nice day. Thank you for joining me to play in beautiful to a love and light, a power perhaps far greater than our own. Offering you a now a nice day. Thank you for joining me to play in beautiful